Well, good day, America, and welcome to the Cut Eye Ranch Scientific Series. This is a new series we'll be doing periodically. America, have you ever wondered if you were living in the year 2500, or if an archaeologist is living in the year 2500, and they were curious about what the folks back in the year 2019 were doing in terms of their personal habits, dietary habits, exercise habits, and so on, the culture of America in 2019. How would you go about discovering, the evidence with respect to what the culture looked like in the year 2019? And one idea would be you would go to the landfill and you would dig down into the landfill until you were down to the year 2019, and you could see what you would find there. But I come up with, I think, what is at least as productive of an idea, and that would be to search the road ditch. So for those people who are aspiring to be archaeologists in the year 2500, you could either go out and dig up your own road ditch, or you could go to your landfill and dig up your own landfill, or you could just watch this video. Just look back 500 years and watch this incredible video to learn about what people were doing in the year 2019. Now, this is scientific. So here is exactly what I did. 1 week ago, I went out and I cleaned up the road ditch in front of our property. It completely found every piece of garbage and so forth laying out there and removed it. Now this morning, exactly 1 week later, I went back to that road ditch and I gathered up everything that I could find there, and I took my able research assistant with me. Now, the idea here is that I have gathered material that had been deposited there during 1 week in time in the year 2019, so I know all this is contemporary with the current year. I can also extrapolate, since this is 1 week in time. If I wanted to speculate as to what would be deposited here over a year's worth of time, I can just multiply what I found by 52. So you can see the value in my scientific approach here. Okay, so what I found this morning is contained in this bag. Indeed, the bag itself was found this morning. So we know that the folks back in 2019 did a fair amount of shopping at some place called Walmart, okay? Now let's see what's in the bag and what we can learn about humankind in the year 2019 as we open this bag. Again, I want to reiterate that this is all gathered from one road ditch that covers 7/10 of a linear mile. Okay, so we can extrapolate not only in terms of time, but also in terms of distance scientifically. All right, let's begin. Okay, first thing out of the bag, literally, is some Little Debbie honey buns. Net weight 3 ounces, 360 calories per serving, and got a whole lot of fat. With that one serving, you get 26% of your daily fat right there. So apparently America in the year 2019 was interested in a high-caloric, high-fat diet. Let's see if we find more evidence to support that. Well, the next thing out is just a plain, looks like what would be a food container perhaps in the year 2019. Has some kind of a zipper mechanism up here on top. Obviously, it has had some damage to it laying there in the ditch for a week. But we don't know any more than the fact that this looks like it could be a food container in the year 2019. Next item. This is a Simply Orange. Looks like probably a drink, and it contains 160 calories per bottle. The bottle is 11.5 ounces. Okay, so this is some kind of a natural juice blend, perhaps a kind of an expensive drink in the year 2019. All right, so juice. Now I found 2 items together, and here they are. This is some kind of a grease rag. So it's covered in grease on both sides, so perhaps this screw blew out inadvertently from some vehicle traveling the roads in the year 2019. With it, I found this glove. Not surprisingly, the glove is also covered in grease. Now, I don't know. Usually people would have had a pair of these things. but this is just one glove. It's ripped pretty good, so perhaps it has no value. It may have been intentionally tossed. We don't know. Here we have, what is this? Kong Squeeze 22. Kong Squee, something like Kong Squeezy dog toy. So apparently back in the day, people would buy toys with which they would amuse their dogs. Again, 1 week. Now here we have what it's actually in two parts. I forgot to mention that I mowed the road ditch to make sure that we'd have a fairly clean surface that we could identify whatever is found in there. This may have been there and carried over from before I mowed it. In any case, this would look like some kind of a food container, nondescript, no label. Just like here we found the lid that maybe goes with this. And what we learned from the lid here, not much, frankly, not much. All right, now we have what appears to be a beverage container. It says Natural Light, brewed in America since 1877. All right, so America, so even in the year 2017, this stuff has been around for like 140 years. I don't assume this particular can was brewed in the 1800s, but rather they've been brewing this particular product since that time. So this is a can of, looks like alcoholic beverage called Natural Light. All right, put that there. Now here is interesting. Looks like another can of the very same product. These are a 12 fluid ounce product. Appears to be made out of some kind of an aluminum, perhaps an aluminum alloy. Again, brewed in America since 1877. Domestic stuff there. So maybe, as it appears, I'm kind of gandering, peering into my bag here, that beer is going to be a theme of what Americans were doing in 2019. Now this one says Coors Light, cold lagered, cold packaged, and it appears also to be 12 fluid ounces. Coors Light, and what it says, when the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. All right, well that's got that going for it. All right, Coors Light. What do we got here? Now, in addition to aluminum packaging, apparently glass was available in the year 2019. This appears to be also a Coors Light alcoholic container, established in 1978, it says, born in the Rockies. So again, I presume they're talking about the American Rockies. It's also 12 fluid ounces, but it's in bottle form. Okay, well, whoever liked that other one, perhaps also like this. Now, we don't know exactly whether these two bottles were tossed by the same person. Certainly, glass is a heavier kind of container, would not tend to blow out of a vehicle, so very highly likely that someone intentionally tossed this from their vehicle to make it available to archaeologists 500 years later. Oh, now here's something interesting. Okay, now this appears to be a paper package. It appears the paper package is custom sized to fit what is inside. Let me remove that, put the packaging over there. Budweiser, King of Beers. Budweiser, King of Beers. All right, so once again, it appears that alcohol would be the beverage that was within this container. And it says brewed by our original process from the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. Okay, so Anheuser-Busch is the manufacturer, and that again appears to be a 12 fluid ounce container. I'm sorry, it's bigger than that. That's either 16 ounce or 24 ounce, so some people like their beer bigger apparently. I don't see on here immediately whether it's 16 or 24, but it's bigger than 12 ounces. Okay. Here we go again. This is a new kind of beer. It's also a larger container, and it says right on here it's 16 fluid ounces. This is called Bush beer. It says also brewed by the Anheuser-Busch company. So apparently this Anheuser-Busch fella made more than one kind of beer. This is called just Bush, brewed in the USA. So all this beer, it seems, is USA brewed. Okay. Next item here. Well, it's another Coors Light brewed in the Rockies. We already have come to know that. Now, I'm starting to see something here that's curious. We've got another Coors Light can here. And if I were to show you them sideways, you might begin to perceive that they're crushed similarly. So this could be, both of these cans could be attributed perhaps to one humanoid who may have, on separate occasions up and down the road, made disposal of his beer or her beer container. Next item, Coors Light. Let's see the squeeze here. I'm saying this squeeze is a little bit different than the squeeze on the other two. So perhaps we have at least two humanoids accounting for what is now 3 Coors Light containers. And then next thing out of the bag is another Coors Light container. This one looks squeezed very much like the first two. So I would say it's possible that we have 4 Light Coors cans that are attributable to perhaps 2 different individuals, and certainly it's possible as many as 4 different individuals. Okay, the next thing out of the box is a little rectangular cube, and it says on it Marlboro. Marlboro. And it says on the side here, for special offers, go to marlboro.com. Marlboro Cold Pack. And this seems to look like a package for some sort of marijuana product, perhaps a tobacco product. In any case, it would seem to be something that would really help describe the culture of entertainment or pastimes or addictions of Americans in the year 2019. Let's set that over there. Next thing we have here is something called J&D's Bacon Wizards. Double flavored, wow. Double flavored, Biggs sizzling bacon sunflower seeds. Oh, they're sunflower seeds, people. So they were into vegetation, and I guess people that would eat these are probably not meat eaters. So these are probably reflective of the diets of people who basically fed on nuts and berries. And this would be an example of a nut, I suppose. 180 calories per serving, 420 calories if you wanted to eat the whole thing in one setting, as perhaps the individual did who disposed of this along the roadside. Here we have a nondescript piece of plastic. I won't try to make any attribution of that. And here we have, oh wow, double A8 Energizer Max, it says. And this would seem to be some kind of packaging that went along with some sort of a power device. Double A8. Can't really take it any further than that. It just would seem to indicate that within this container there was once some sort of power source. I'll put that over here. All right. Next thing out here is a tangled, it looks like monofilament line of some kind. Now I'm going to guess that this is a rudimentary tool back in the day for extracting fish from bodies of water like lakes and rivers and so forth. There's probably more to it. There's probably something that was attached to one end of this line and something attached to the other end of the line. But this, I think, looks like back in the early days of fishing equipment. Okay, fishing equipment probably. And the last thing here is some sort of a device, perhaps for cleaning up. It's made of paper, not cloth. And beyond that, I really can't tell you much about it. It's still relatively clean. Those people who would discover this 500 years from now would not discover this at all because it would melt away, of course. So by watching my video, those people will gain a lot more knowledge about what was going on in 2019 than they would by actually going out and digging around the ditch. Okay, about 9% of people preferred the juice beverage, and the other 91% strongly preferred the alcoholic beverages. Now, if we were to extrapolate, this is 1 week on 7/10 of a mile of road. So if we were just to extrapolate from 7/10 of a mile of road in 1 week to 1 mile of road in a whole year, what would that look like? Well, these 11 beverage containers would become something like 15 beverage containers. That's just per mile per week. 15 beverage containers deposited per mile of road per week. Now, if we take that over a year's time, that would mean something like 750 cans and bottles deposited in the ditch in 1 year. And that's a lot of evidence, of course, for the archaeologist to come and discover about you 500 years later. And isn't that something? And it's so nice that not only were all of these other things deposited in the ditch, but a handy carrying bag for the whole thing was deposited there as well. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this scientific edition of the Cut-Eye Ranch video series. We'll be doing this again soon, I'm sure. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.